Rune 27 of the Kalevala. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. The Kalevala, compiled by Alias Lönnrot, translated by John Martin Crawford. Rune 27. The Unwelcome Guest. I have brought young Kaukomieli, brought the islander and hero, also known as Lemminkainen, through the jaws of death and ruin, through the darkling deeps of Kalma, to the homesteads of Pohjola, to the dismal courts of Louhi. Now must I relate his doings, must relate to all my hearers, how the merry Lemminkainen, handsome hero Kaukomieli, wandered through Pohjola's chambers, through the halls of Sariola, how the hero went unbidden to the feasting and carousal, uninvited to the banquet, Lemminkainen, full of courage, full of life and strength and magic, stepped across the ancient threshold to the center of the courtroom, and the floors of linwood trembled, walls and ceilings creaked and murmured. Spake the reckless Lemminkainen, these the words that Ahti uttered: "Be ye greeted on my coming, ye that greet be likewise greeted. Listen, all ye hosts of Pohja, is there food about this homestead, barley for my hungry courser, beer to give a thirsty stranger?" Sat the host of Sariola at the east end of the table, gave this answer to the questions: "Surely is there in this homestead for thy steed an open stable. Never will this host refuse thee, shouldst thou act a part becoming. Worthy, coming to these portals, waiting near the birchen rafters, in the spaces by the kettles, by the triple hooks of iron." Then the reckless Lemminkainen shook his sable locks and answered: "Lempo may perchance come hither, let him fill this lowly station. Let him stand between the kettles, that with soot he may be blackened. Never has my ancient father, never has the dear old hero stood upon a spot unworthy, at the portals, near the rafters, for his steed the best of stables, food and shelter gladly furnished, and a room for his attendants, corners furnished for his mittens, hooks provided for his snowshoes, halls in waiting for his helmet. Wherefore then should I not find here what my father found before me?" To the center walked the hero, walked around the dining table, sat upon a bench and waited, on a bench of polished fir wood, and the kettle creaked beneath him. Spake the reckless Lemminkainen: "As a guest am I unwelcome, since the waiters bring no viands, bring no dishes to the stranger?" Ilpata, the Northland hostess, then addressed the words that follow: "Lemminkainen, thou art evil, thou art here but not invited, thou hast not the look of kindness, thou wilt give me throbbing temples, thou art bringing pain and sorrow. All our beer is in the barley, all our malt is in the kernel, all our grain is still ungarnered, and our dinner has been eaten. Yesterday thou shouldst have been here, come again some future season." Whereupon wild Lemminkainen pulled his mouth awry in anger, shook his coal-black locks and answered: "All the tables here are empty, and the feasting time is over. All the beer has left the goblets, empty too are all the pitchers, empty are the larger vessels. O thou hostess of Pohjola, toothless dame of dismal Northland, badly managed is thy wedding, and thy feast is ill conducted, like the dogs hast thou invited. Thou hast baked the honey biscuit, wheaten loaves of greatest virtue, brewed thy beer from hops and barley, sent abroad thine invitations. 6 the hamlets thou hast honored, 9 the villages invited. By thy merry wedding callers thou hast asked the poor and lowly, asked the hosts of common people, asked the blind and deaf and crippled, asked a multitude of beggars, toilers by the day and hirelings, Ask the men of evil habits, ask the maids with braided tresses. I alone was not invited. How could such a slight be given? Since I sent thee kegs of barley, others sent thee grain in cupfuls, brought it sparingly in dippers, while I sent thee fullest measure, sent the half of all my garners, of the richest of my harvest, of the grain that I had gathered. Even now young Lemminkainen, though a guest of name and station, has no beer, no food, no welcome. Naught for him art thou preparing, nothing cooking in thy kettles, nothing brewing in thy cellars, for the hero of the islands at the closing of his journey. Ilpotar, the ancient hostess, gave this order to her servants: "Come, my pretty maiden waiter, servant girl to me belonging, lay some salmon to the broiling, bring some beer to give the stranger." Small of stature was the maiden, washer of the banquet platters, rinser of the dinner ladles, polisher of spoons of silver, and she laid some food in kettles, only bones and beads of whiting, turnip stalks and withered cabbage, crusts of bread and bits of biscuit. Then she brought some beer in pitchers, brought the common drink, the vilest, that the stranger, Lemminkainen, might have drink and meat in welcome, thus to still his thirst and hunger. Then the maiden spake as follows: "Thou art sure a mighty hero, here to drink the beer of Pohja, here to empty all our vessels." Then the minstrel, Lemminkainen, closely handled all the pitchers, looking to the very bottoms. There beheld he writhing serpents, in the center adders swimming, on the borders worms and lizards. Then the hero, Lemminkainen, filled with anger, spake as follows: "Get ye hence, ye things of evil, get ye hence to Tuonela, with the bearer of these pitchers, with the maid that brought ye hither. Ere the evening moon has risen, ere the day star seeks the ocean, O thou wretched beer of barley, thou hast met with great dishonor, into disrepute hast fallen. But I'll drink thee notwithstanding, and the rubbish cast far from me." Then the hero to his pockets thrust his first and unnamed finger, searching in his pouch of leather, quick withdraws a hook for fishing, drops it to the pitcher's bottom. Through the worthless beer of barley, on his fish hook hang the serpents, catches many hissing adders, catches frogs in magic numbers, catches blackened worms in thousands, casts them to the floor before him, quickly draws his heavy broadsword, and decapitates the serpents. Now he drinks the beer remaining, when the wizard speaks as follows: "As a guest am I unwelcome, since no beer to me is given that is worthy of a hero. Neither has a ram been butchered, nor a fatted calf been slaughtered, worthy food for Lemminkainen." Then the landlord of Pohjola answered thus the island minstrel: "Wherefore hast thou journeyed hither? Who has asked thee for thy presence?" Spake in answer Lemminkainen: "Happy is the guest invited, happier when not expected. Listen, son of Pohdlander, host of Sariola, listen. Give me beer for ready payment, give me worthy drink for money." Then the landlord of Pohjola, in bad humor, full of anger, conjured in the earth a lakelet at the feet of Kaukomieli. Thus addressed the island hero: "Quench thy thirst from yonder lakelet, there the beer that thou deservest." Little heeding, Lemminkainen to this insolence made answer: "I am neither bear nor roebuck, that should drink this filthy water, drink the water from this lakelet." Ahti then began to conjured he a bull before him, bull with horns of gold and silver, and the bull drank from the lakelet, drank he from the pool in pleasure. Then the landlord of Pohjola there a savage wolf created, set him on the floor before him, to destroy the bull of magic. Lemminkainen, full of courage, conjured up a snow white rabbit, set him on the floor before him, to attract the wolf's attention. Then the landlord of Pohjola conjured there a dog of Lempo, set him on the floor before him, to destroy the magic rabbit. Lemminkainen, full of mischief, conjured on the roof a squirrel, that by jumping on the rafters he might catch the dog's attention. But the master of the Northland conjured there a golden marten, and he drove the magic squirrel from his seat upon the rafters. Lemminkainen, full of mischief, made a fox of scarlet color, and it ate the golden marten. Then the master of Pohjola conjured there a hen to flutter near the fox of scarlet color. Lemminkainen, full of mischief, thereupon a hawk created, that with beak and crooked talons he might tear the hen to pieces. Spake the landlord of Pohjola, these the words the tall man uttered: "Never will this feast be bettered till the guests are less in number. I must do my work as landlord. Get thee hence, thou evil stranger! Cease thy conjurings of evil, leave this banquet to my people. Haste away, thou wicked wizard, to thine island home and people." Spake the reckless Lemminkainen, "Thus no hero will be driven, not a son of any courage will be frightened by thy presence, will be driven from thy banquet." Then the landlord of Pohjola snatched his broadsword from the rafters, drew it rashly from the scabbard, thus addressing Lemminkainen: "Ahti, islander of evil, thou the handsome Kaukomieli, let us measure then our broadswords, let our skill be fully tested. Surely is my broadsword better than the blade within thy scabbard." Spake the hero Lemminkainen, "That my blade is good and trusty has been proved on heads of heroes, has on many bones been tested. Be that as it may, my fellow, since thine order is commanding, let our swords be fully tested. Let us see whose blade is better. Long ago my hero father tested well this sword in battle, never failing in a conflict. Should his son be found less worthy?" Then he grasped his mighty broadsword, drew the fire blade from the scabbard, hanging from his belt of copper, standing on their hilts their broadswords. Carefully their blades were measured, found the sword of Northland's master longer than the sword of Ahti by the half link of a finger. Spake the reckless Lemminkainen, "Since thou hast the longer broadsword, thou shalt make the first advances. I am ready for thy weapon." Thereupon Pohyola's landlord, with the wondrous strength of anger, tried in vain to slay the hero, strike the crown of Lemminkainen, chipped the splinters from the rafters, cut the ceiling into fragments, could not touch the island hero. Thereupon brave Kaukomieli thus addressed Pohyola's master: "Have the rafters thee offended? What the crimes they have committed, since thou hewest them in pieces? Listen now, thou host of Northland, reckless landlord of Pohjola. Little room there is for swordsmen in these chambers filled with women. We shall stain these painted rafters, stain with blood these floors and ceilings. Let us go without the mansion. In the field is room for combat, on the plain is space sufficient. Blood looks fairer in the courtyard, better in the open spaces. Let it dye the snowfields scarlet." To the yard the heroes hasten. There they find a monstrous ox skin, spread it on the field of battle. On the ox skin stand the swordsmen. Spake the hero Lemminkainen, "Listen well, thou host of Northland. Though thy broadsword is the longer, though thy blade is full of horror, thou shalt have the first advantage. Use with skill thy boasted broadsword, ere the final bout is given, ere thy head be chopped in pieces. Strike with skill, or thou wilt perish. Strike and do thy best for Northland." Thereupon Pohyola's landlord raised on high his blade of battle, struck a heavy blow in anger, struck a second, then a third time. But he could not touch his rival, could not draw a single blood drop from the veins of Lemminkainen, skillful islander and hero. Spake the handsome Kaukomieli, "Let me try my skill at fencing. Let me swing my father's broadsword, let my honored blade be tested." But the landlord of Pohjola does not heed the words of Ahti, strikes in fury, strikes unceasing, ever aiming, ever missing. When the skillful Lemminkainen swings his mighty blade of magic, fire disports along his weapon, flashes from his sword of honor, glistens from the hero's broadsword, balls of fire disporting, dancing on the blade of mighty Ahti, overflows upon the shoulders of the landlord of Pohjola. Spake the hero Lemminkainen: "O thou son of Sariola, see, indeed thy neck is glowing, like the dawning of the morning, like the rising sun in ocean." Quickly turned Pohyola's landlord, thoughtless host of darksome Northland, to behold the fiery splendor playing on his neck and shoulders. Quick as lightning Lemminkainen, with his father's blade of battle, with a single blow of broadsword, with united skill and power, lopped the head of Pohya's master, as one cleaves the stalks of turnips, as the ear falls from the cornstalk, as one strikes the fins from salmon. Thus the head rolled from the shoulders of the landlord of Pohyola. Like a ball it rolled and circled, in the yard were pickets standing, hundreds were the sharpened pillars, and a head on every picket. Only one was left unheaded. Quick the victor Lemminkainen took the head of Pohya's landlord, spiked it on the empty picket. Then the islander, rejoicing, handsome hero Kaukomieli, quick returning to the chambers, gave this order to the hostess: "Evil maiden, bring me water, wherewithal to cleanse my fingers from the blood of Northland's master, wicked host of Sariola." Ilpotar, the Northland hostess, fired with anger, threatened vengeance, conjured men with heavy broadswords, heroes clad in copper armor, 100 warriors with their javelins, and 1,000 bearing crossbows, to destroy the island hero for the death of Lemminkainen. Kaukomieli soon discovered that the time had come for leaving, that his presence was unwelcome at the feasting of Pohyola, at the banquet of her people. End of Rune 27. Recording by Timothy Ferguson, Gold Coast, Australia.